So, what's your name?
Edward Mitchell.
And how old are you?
I'm 18.
And what course are you doing and at what uni?
I'm doing computer games programming at Teesside University.
And what's your main role in League of Legends?
Normally I play AD carry.
And who are your favourite three champions?
My favourite three champions are Callista, Zed and Renekton.
And when did you play in the National University Esports League?
I played for the first 3 weeks of the tournament, and we practiced for 3 weeks before the tournament started.
And so, how did you do in the tournament?
For the first few games we did really well. We went from seed 172nd to 138th. There was 5 almost promotional games, and we went 3-2, and then in the following week we went 2-1. So we did pretty well. I would say in general.
And so, was it a fun experience?
Oh yeah, definitely. Playing in a competitive type environment, obviously you're not right at the top level, but normally you're doing pretty well. And to be part of a team and communicating and really learning a lot more about the game than you would in a game of solo queue is actually really exciting.
And so, why did you stop?
We stopped because the team fell apart. There was a few communication issues between myself and our mid laner, and he decided he didn't want to play in a team anymore. And then when we got the new person in, him and the jungler didn't really get on, so the jungler decided to leave. And then our top laner had a few issues and decided he was going to leave. Our jungler was then recovering with a few medical issues, and basically once the top laner had left, the support sort of said, I don't think I can really do this anymore, and so the team disbanded.
So why do you want to become an NUEL Caster?
So being a low-ranked person in the scale, I'm in silver, and I feel like I know a lot more about the game than I can show in my gameplay. And esports is a big thing for me. I've always been into video games, I've always been fascinated by competitive sports. And so to get any opportunity to work in that sort of field is just fantastic.
And so what work does it involve to become one?
Well, you've got to strive to know. For example, I'm what's called a colour caster, so I'm there to provide all of the colour to the cast. You know, I'm providing all of the odd little bits of information, and to have that knowledge when you're in game, to be able to pick up intricacies of things that people have been doing for years within seconds is really difficult to do. So it's a lot about research, and then it's about public speaking and talking to people who are listening to you but you can't physically see. And then obviously getting interpersonal skills is also really helpful, because normally you'll work in a duo or maybe more, and so you have to know how to instantly act and react with, for example, a play-by-play caster. And so once you've got a mix of those sort of areas, that's when you can look into getting into casting.
And so how are you finding the process of becoming a caster?
I'm really enjoying the process of becoming a caster. I'm learning a lot about the game that I've never learned before. When I was being interviewed to be a caster, they asked me a question: who wins a matchup between two champions? and I said I was honestly certain that it was Aurelia versus Rise, and I said, oh, Rise would definitely win that. And the guy who was interviewing me said, well, no, actually, Aurelia would win that because of these facts. And from that, I thought, well, then obviously this is a weak point in my knowledge. And so I just went and read up on a lot of pro players' guides on the matchups that possible champions can have. And that was really fun for me because it shows that I'm improving. And so, yeah, I'm really enjoying the process.
And so, do you still actively play the game? Or...
Yeah, I'd say I actively play the game. I probably play a game every couple of days. Obviously, with uni, it's a bit more difficult, and trying to be a caster. Obviously, I'm looking at watching more games and gathering more information rather than actually playing the game. But yeah, I still play the game often.
And obviously, if you're hoping to go into the NUEL, do you think that the university esports scene has a really bright future?
Yeah, I think if you look at the way America is dealing with the collegiate scene, I think if we can begin to make bigger footsteps than they are, because they basically, in the collegiate scene for America, you play to get into the there's a tournament just before the end of the year that's held in Texas. I can't remember the name of it, but you go and play in that tournament if you make it through the collegiate tournament and play against challenger scene teams. And so if we can follow in their footsteps and maybe even as a university community make that tournament that Texas holds, and invite challenger teams to play against these collegiate teams, I think that would be a really big step. And I think looking at the NUEL and seeing where people are moving on from the NUEL shows really promising outlooks for the university esports scene.